Hey guys, so first up, if you haven't watched my first video on power development basics, you should go to our website and check it out. It's www.starttraining.net.au, because this video sort of follows on from that first video on the basics. Alright guys, so just a quick rehab. What we looked at was power equals force times distance over time, okay? So this equation up here. So what I want to go into today is a little bit more on how we can manipulate those variables to get a really good result with our athletes. So from a strength and conditioning point of view, we can really adapt how we develop power in an athlete to suit the sport that they're going to do. So we've got sort of two different areas here, and like I was saying here, we've got your force and your distance. All right, so those are the two variables you can really start to manipulate. So we've got force output versus range of motion. Yeah, so the idea of the two different types varies to whatever sport you're going to do. So firstly, if we look at range of motion, so range of motion is more, when we're looking at power development, is more based on large angular velocities. So it's moving fast through full ranges of motion, okay? So when we look at exercises, we're thinking from a more sport-specific point of view, we're looking at things like deficit deads, and we're looking at movements where we're moving from a full squat up to a full standing position for athletes like jumpers who need to work through full ranges of motion, and rowers who also need to work through full ranges of motion. So the larger the angular velocity that you can generate, so the greater the start to end point, means the greater force you can produce through that full range. So that's when we can manipulate the variable of range of motion in a more sport-specific strength and conditioning capacity. Secondly, we're going to look at power development from a force output point of view. So we're thinking more about a really short distance, but a maximum effort and maximum weight range. So the best way to explain this is if we're looking at a lifter, so someone who's working on their snatch, but they really need to improve getting their hips through faster. So they're getting the bar up, but they're not getting their hips through into that triple extension phase. Then we would use something like a rack pull. Yeah, so you're moving from the knee up to the hip really, really efficiently, moving really quickly, and just generating as much force as possible. So that's the second way we look at generating power from a sport-specific point of view.